Today, we could see some of the damage left over from the shooting. Just take a look beside me. This entire window was shot out. There are stacks upon stacks of burnt mail on this truck after a fire this morning in Norfolk. This vehicle, a shell of what it used to look like. Police tell us that a man has life-threatening injuries and is in the hospital after this shooting. Now, this piece of ember is just one of many that came from this house fire, now laying on the beach. And as you can see behind me, these firefighters are hosing down a couple of sparks that started. This tree is completely ripped out of the ground, and it's the same story with a lot of these trees in these homes in this neighborhood. Neighbors I spoke with tonight saying they lived through one of the scariest moments in their lives. Not only did Andrew Totten find the grenade, but he held it in his hand. This is what it looks like. You'll see more detailed pictures in a little bit, but he calls the situation crazy. Her 10-year-old son, Keontre, was ripped from her life. She held him as he was dying, hit by a stray bullet. And if you come out here, don't forget to sign one of these pillars so you can always be a part of this park. That's what I'm gonna do right now. For now, live in Suffolk, Raven Payne, 10 on your side. If you're walking to your car and see this orange notice on your windshield, don't worry, you're not in trouble. Virginia Beach Police only want to help. The job for Virginia Beach EMS is not an easy one. It's taxing, it could be trying, and it could take a toll on your mental health. Now that is where cute little Primrose comes into play. I'm gonna move out the way so you can see an example of what people have been bringing. You can bring some canned goods, some non-perishable items. We even have some pancake mix in here. These two big donation bins actually got completely full, and we had to rearrange some items, which is amazing. If I had a little air horn, I'd be blowing it right now because I love that. There are no words for the pain Kavina Thornhill is feeling right now. Her 10-year-old son, Keontre, was ripped from her life. She held him as he was dying, hit by a stray bullet. And all she wants now is her baby back.
Nobody will never be able to feel the pain. I birthed that little boy. I birthed that little boy. I birthed that little boy.
A mother screaming and crying for her son who was killed in senseless violence. Kavina Thornhill's 10-year-old son, Keontre, was hit by a stray bullet after a fight broke out in front of his home Friday. Police say the dispute started between teenage girls erupting when shots were fired. Kavina says her son heard the commotion and went to look outside his window, then tragedy struck.
I held my baby. I held my baby through this time, telling him to breathe. I did CPR on my baby and still nothing.
Through tears, she says she feels like she's dying inside.
I'm angry because my son wasn't nothing but 10 years old. 10, his birthday is July 14th. He can't even make it to his 11th birthday. It's nothing more to say. I just want my son back.
She tells me Keontre was her rock and her comfort.
That little boy, on times that I was going through, nobody understand. He would rub my back and tell me, Mama, it's gonna be okay. He's not here for me to hear his voice to tell me it's gonna be okay. And it's not gonna be okay. It's not gonna be okay.
The family held a vigil for young Keontre 2 days after he was killed. Police Chief Stephen Jenkins attended, visibly angry, pleading with the men in the community to step up.
Stand down! Men! Stand down! Enough is enough! You better start checking their rooms and doing they want to do. I'm tired. I'm charging everybody.
Moments later, he spoke with us saying they're going after everyone who was involved in the death of this little boy.
Everything from search warrants on social media, you name it. They've been pulling out all the stops. If you don't feel this as a 10-year-old minding his own business, then you're dead inside.
Keontre's young cousin Mariah Baxter wanted to give him one last message.
I love you, and I wish that wasn't you.
Police have arrested Shondae Ross in connection with the homicide and are now looking for Cleon Banks. Kavina says through her pain, she'll continue to walk for her son. Raven Payne, 10 on your side. This is a story of an act of kindness clearing away a cloud of grief. Heather Bowers, feeling her life slipping away, made one last request: a meal from Mama Kwan's, a restaurant 6 hours away from her. So her best friend and staff here banded together to make her dying wish come true.
I don't think he realizes what he did, how kind and how much that meant to the family.
Mary Simmons tells me late February, her best friend Heather Bowers was at the end of her life after a long battle with cancer.
Right out of the gate, it was stage 4. She did I mean, what she went through in 3.5 years is like would have brought down the strongest man.
She says the chemotherapy devastatingly worked a little too well. As it was killing the tumor, it was destroying the rest of Heather's cells. On her deathbed, Heather had one last wish, a pork plate from Outer Banks restaurant Mama Kwan's. But how could Mary make it happen? They lived 6 hours away in West Virginia.
I knew that it was a long shot. She calls me back about 5 o'clock. She says, Kevin already has it packed up. He's in the car and he's on his way there. And I said, what?
Mama Kwan's owner, Kevin Sherry, says he didn't think twice about making the long drive for a customer in need, although it was hard on him emotionally.
About halfway up, I had I turned the radio off and had to talk to myself of saying, you can't walk in here like this. You've got to walk in with like a little bit of sunshine from the Outer Banks.
He made it, but tragically Heather died the very next night. Mary telling me Kevin's actions showed her there are still genuine, kind people in this world.
I just think maybe if people see that kind of kindness, it'll start spreading. That's the hope. He made her smile, one of her final smiles of her life.
Kevin says he plans on making a $1,000 donation to the hospice care center up in West Virginia that took care of Heather during her final moments. In Kill Devil Hills, Raven Payne, 10 on your side.